It says I'm live. Oh my goodness, it always rushes up on me. Good evening and welcome. Welcome to Biz with Joy. Grow your business in style. Leaders leaving legacies. And tonight, our featured guest speaker, a back command performance because we as women, don't we, and men too, we love color. Claudia Marulanda. I almost got the name. She is an artist who is very much involved in the color world, and she uses it in so many magical ways. And we're going to be talking about that tonight. Welcome. It's always great to see you here. We love good company. And one of the things that we are always bringing to you are men and women who are about sharing their mission, their purpose, and their calling with you. Sharing what they do so that you can connect with them. That's the intention. That's the purpose. So again, welcome. Thank you for being here, whether you're here now or for the replay, and we'll be tapping into you as we move forward. But for now, I want you, and she's going to help me with her name. Everybody knows I'm horrible with names. Claudia, welcome, and thank you for sharing this time with us tonight. I can't wait to get started because you know, I love color. Most women do. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Joy. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, the pleasure is all mine because I really know the power, and that's one of my key words, Claudia, of color. So tell us, I know what you do, and we're going to get a little bit at a time. But one of the things that I like, by the way, pronounce your last name for me, and please forgive me. Let me try one, Marulanda.
That's very close. Yeah, Marulanda. Marulanda.
I was close, wasn't I? Oh my goodness. One of the things that I love about the work that you're doing, because Claudia, all of my life I've spent in the discovery of getting to know me. And in my workshops, I share a lot of personal stuff. Tonight is not the night for that. But one of the reasons that your work resonates with me, because you say that it facilitates a healing experience for women who are struggling with self-expression, which, believe it or not, most all of my life I did. And still somewhat, but in a different vein. So tell us how you came to this love for color and found that it was healing for you in the work that you're doing. And welcome.
Okay. Thank you. So it all started about 10 years ago when I went through a breakup. You know how breakups go.
I do. I remember.
So that led me to hit what I call an emotional rock bottom, but it was more than just a breakup. It was my life from before, the way I was being from before. So I had a very low self-esteem. I was not comfortable in my body. I just did not love myself. So that breakup led me to want to change my life, to say yes to new experiences. And through that process, it just kind of like came to me. It's like, Claudia, pick up your color pencils and your drawing paper and let's start doing some art. So that moment when I did that, it just felt like so good. Like I wasn't depressed. I had no desire of crying. So I kept doing it. And that's why I call art my medicine, because it was like a daily activity that I did to escape from feeling pain. And that led me to start expressing myself in ways that I had not expressed before. So it all led to coloring, drawing, then painting, and of course using colors.
You know what? I love that expression and the way you share that with us, Claudia, because I don't think, and I have no issues with being proven wrong, because that's how we grow and expand if we're in leadership and we choose and want to grow. The way that you expressed how color opened up a whole new world for you, I think there are lots, zillions and trillions of women out here who don't understand, and it's okay, we don't know what we don't know, the power of color. And that's what somehow in your self-awakening, you began to understand that color was powerful. How do you use that now to facilitate healing with women who are awkward in their self-expression? What's the key there for you?
So the main way that I'm doing it right now is through the workshops that I facilitate. I have one that is called Color Your Way to Feeling Divine. It's about feeling pleasure with yourself, being comfortable in your body. So what we do is I use prompts to help women to reflect on their emotions, and emotions correlate to colors. So that's where it connects. So depending on how she's feeling, I give them a color kit so they can connect to colors. And I remember one of the participants, she's been with me for a while. And one day she told me, Claudia, I just went to my closet and I decided to use green because I wanted to feel renewed and I wanted to feel this and that way. So it was pleasing just listening to her that it's it was more than just using it in the workshop to color, but she was able to apply it in other ways of in her life, and that's what it does. That's what art does. It's not just about coloring or using colors when coloring. It's about like how you applying this into your life.
That's so crystal clear, because the way that you're combining and express to us in your verbiage about the healing aspects of art and color and emotions, because emotions do play a big part in it, right? And
Yes.
knowing the power of color and how you're using them and getting to know the strength and the power and the significance of each color, that becomes significant, I suppose, as you teach women how to allow their emotions to showcase in whatever it is that they're drawing. What do you find for the women who come to you that you're working with now? What is it that they start off with initially for the understanding and the exploration of getting to know themselves and how to be more expressive? How do they start off, with a face, with a tree, with an animal? How do we work in that regard?
Well, in this workshop, I provide them with the art. So I give them an image to color, and all my images, well, my main images are about women. So we use, like, let's say the hair. We start coloring the hair, so they color the hair according to the prompt that I give them. And then we go piece by piece. And then I give them the space for them to write like an affirmation for themselves, and certain spaces for them to add the color they want to add. So if they have a feeling about something, let's say they feel like completely empowered about something and they want to use the color relating to that, then they can use it depending on the part of the illustration that we're using. So it's a fun way of coloring and connecting to yourself, getting to understand emotions, and at the same time processing emotions.
Well, that's what I wanted to get to, because I've seen some of your work and you mentioned hair. That's a beginning, because you tend to like, from what I can see, and I value it because I understand it in my way, color: green hair, blue hair, purple hair. It's only, I think, maybe within the past few years that women have began to walk about the public arenas with all these different color hair. So what is the significance of color for the hair? Because the emotions and the head, the heart, the mind, it's all connected. But what is your understanding, and how do you express to the women that you're working with about color and hair? I need to hear that from you.
So the funny thing is that when I started drawing and painting, I felt like I didn't know how to draw hair. So that led me to concentrate on hair. And one of the things that, I mean, we're not really concentrating on it now, I add words into the hair. So I started adding words. So I started seeing the hair as a form of, like, my images, my art expressing themselves. That's how they were showing like whatever they were expressing. In the beginning, I used to write affirmations, or I used to add empowering quotes to encourage myself. And and I don't know, I guess being Latina also, I'm all about colors. The funny thing is that in my life sometimes I dress a little too much with black and gray because I live in New York, but I
Yeah.
do love color and I enjoy it. And I realized that depending on the color I was using, I was expressing whatever emotion I was feeling. So it is great to start realizing that there's a connection between expressing ourselves on art with color.
And you know what? I get too excited. I have to calm down. Let me tell you why. I thought you were going in an entirely different direction with that. Yet the way that you explained that to me, I get it, because I was thinking most of us women, especially when we're, well, in every bracket, age bracket, generation, your hair is your crowning glory. Haven't we all been taught that, more or less? So the emotions that are involved with hair And as we mature and all the things happen and women lose hair and all the illnesses that we can get where that happens, it's a good place to start, because even though it is an expression of who we are, in essence, it's really not the crowning glory. There's so much more involved, right? This is why when you said they start with the hair and the color and the emotions. Oh, the way you brought that together. What do you find when women start with hair? Where do they go after that? What's the progression?
Well, it's depending on what we're doing. So usually in my workshops, I concentrate on giving them also like symbols. I always add a symbol of a butterfly because that usually symbolizes transformation.
Yes.
I give them flowers also. So depending on, again, the workshop that I'm doing, how I design it, I just kind of like start walking them through a process where they can celebrate themselves, where they can remember things where they have done something that they're proud of. So it all starts connecting, and at the end, that's why at the end I give them like, okay, now you can write an affirmation, like, how do you see yourself? What do you want to start doing with yourself? Or what is a quote that inspires you or encourages you to move forward? Because that's my whole thing. That's how art helped me. And when I say that art empowered me,
Yes.
it was a way to start expressing myself, to start seeing myself in the future. Like, how do I want to see myself? What do I want to do with my life? So that's my purpose, to give to women.
Oh, it is a gift. Believe me, I know without knowing, it's a gift. That I know. What have you found thus far is the I'm sure it varies for each individual, because everyone comes to you with different levels of not being able to express themselves, self-expression and self-esteem, self-worth, and all of that stuff. What cathartic thing happens that you can pinpoint and you see among some of the women that you work with? How would you be able to express that verbally to us? What is that cathartic kind of transformational something that happens?
Okay, that's a good question.
Yes, it is. I only do good questions, my sweet.
Yes. I believe it's understanding. I mean, my purpose is to help them understand their emotions, understanding like, oh, I felt this way because there's always a cause behind the way we feel, behind the way we act. And we act according to our emotions. That's why emotions is so important, because sometimes we don't really take the time to analyze and be proactive. We're just reactive. So depending on how we feel, we're reactive to it. So if women can understand emotions better, and what I say, cultivate awareness about it, they can make better decisions for themselves. They can decide like, maybe I need help in this area. Maybe I can start doing this. So for me, that's the purpose, to open up that question. What do you want to do that is going to move you forward? Because I believe that we're in this world to grow, to be better each day. And that's a desire for myself. And I know how my life has transformed in the last 10 years. So I want to be able to give that to women, like at least like spark that idea of like, maybe I need to start doing things differently.
Well, I'm really embracing all of this, because that's why we're all here, to grow and to grow into the best of ourselves. It's not good just to be better. You want to be the best of you, not better than anybody else, because you can't be, but you can be the best of you. And I love the word you use, spark, because you want to spark and ignite something in them that will get them on the path to their healing process.
Exactly.
And I love that other word that you use, Claudia, proactive. It takes a very courageous, and these are the women we look for, at least my group, my community. We look for leaders. We look for women who are bold and courageous and proactive enough to say, you know what, I'm an eagle in this arena, in this lane, but I need more support and help in this. And you go and you find it and you seek it out. That's really good. And it's not about controlling your emotions. It's about being able to manage them where they benefit your progression into the world to be the best of you. So I love that. I think that there's no thinking involved. Innate intelligence, when you begin to master your emotions, becomes second nature. But it's a process. It's a journey. Now, you gave us an inkling when you opened for us and gave us how you came to do this work. But can you pinpoint for us maybe what initially sparked for you when you decided and found out that color was really what you wanted to utilize and surface and master and get into your zone of genius? What seed was that? Can you recall? Because sometimes you can't.
What? Can you repeat that for a second? What
What
seed?
what was the seed for you? What ignited and sparked for you whatever that was that said, this is the work that I want to do. This has been so cathartic and so empowering for me. I want to take this and share this with others. What was it for you?
My life.
Your
My
life.
life.
Yes.
My life. When I say that I used to have very low self-esteem and no self-love, I mean, it was bad. I lived in constant emotional pain. You were seeing me, and that's what happens. We as women, most of us, I wouldn't say all of us, we pretend. We pretend to be okay. We pretend that everything's good, but we're suffering in silence. So that was me. Everyone would think, Claudia was always fine. I had a great job, my son, my career, everything, but no one knew what I was going through within me. And it took that breakup to actually start like taking charge of my life. And that led me to understand that I had suffered trauma and I had repressed it. That's one of the reasons I do the workshop, because it's all about releasing what we're suppressing, those bottled up emotions and repressed emotions, which is slightly different. So knowing how it helped me, knowing how my life has transformed, and knowing that I love myself so much more. And before I couldn't tell myself that I love myself. I did that exercise that I look at myself in the mirror and I couldn't tell myself that I love myself. So now I can love myself. Now I can give kisses to myself. So that's happiness to me. And if I can give that to someone else, that makes life even better, because I believe we're here to support each other. We're one all together, and that's what I want to do.
Well, you nailed it. You nailed it, because we're doing the same work, traveling down different lanes, but the ultimate aim is the same: to allow women who are ready to take that leap to step into their greatness, their power, their magic, and their genius. And you can only do that when you get to know and build your own innate intelligence, your own sense of self-love, self-esteem, self-confidence, and it's a journey. And this pretense, we're ending this era for women. That's why I connected with you in the work that you're doing. Absolutely powerful. Claudia, I want you to stay with that. And when I come back, you use a couple, well, all of your words, but the pretense that's out here for so many women who are pretending to be self-confident and self-assured and all of that, and it's not there. And then you use that word, it's repressed for so many, and that how art and color helps them to unravel that and awaken that genius and power within. So hold tight. I'm going to put you in the green room. I just want to make an announcement for what's coming up here this Thursday, the 18th, and I would love it for you to attend. But hold tight. I want to just mention this to our guest here today. I want you to remember everything that Claudia is sharing with us, because when it comes to our own sense of who we are and our own power, has to begin with that self-love. And there's so many ways to get to it. Her way is powerful. Most everyone has their style, their rhythm, their flow. But let's talk about Thursday, the 18th. I want you, if you have not registered to date, every Thursday of the month, I have the third Thursday of the month, I have a featured guest speaker come in this Thursday, the 18th. This lady is coming in and she's going to share with you some good tips and tools and nuggets about how you show up and the style and the rhythm and the flow that you have, your presence, your image, your appearance. And most women care. We're talking about color tonight, but it encompasses everything when it comes to your garments. So if you haven't registered, go here and you can register and be there at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. You're going to be able to get a lot of valuable information that will benefit you. And if you're not a member of my Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, go here to my Facebook group and join. We love good company and we can't wait to see you there. But one of the things I want you to remember and know that every third Thursday of the month, at least until the end of the year, what's that, 3 or 4 more to come, we will have a featured guest speaker. And I want you to come and attend, because at some point in time, you might be one. So just remember that. In the meantime, let's get back to our featured guest speaker here today, because what I want to do now, Claudia, is ask you, what have you found in the women that, and by the way, I ought not to assume anything. Do you work with men as well, or is it predominantly women?
Uh, Predominantly women. I have an event coming up that I'm going to collaborate with someone, and it's serving men and women.
Yes. Well, me too. I work predominantly with women, but for one other broadcast that I do, I have men and women who are able to do it. So I know that because we as women, it's our time. And somehow, when you were in the process of discovering your self love, self esteem, and all of that stuff that you're about showcasing now for others, you went through your process, your journey. The colors. What have you found to date with color? There are no crazy questions. What colors do you find that most of the women start off using for whatever their reasons might be? I know it's different and it's varied, but we know the power colors. In fact, I wanted to mention to you the power colors. And we know that they're red, black, purple, gold, blue, navy. Those are power colors. So which colors do most people start off with? By the way, behind you, you have this beautiful lady with green hair and blue hair. You have any others that you can hold up and show us? We love that. I love the curly hair, the colors, the pout on her lip. I mean, really.
Thank you. I have, yes, I do. Hopefully you can see this because they're in plastic.
Ooh,
Let me see.
yes. Oh my goodness.
So I
Beautiful.
vary my style a little bit. I make this just a little more fun. This is one of my first ones, and I was really depressed when I did this one.
Hold that for 1 second. And here's what I wanted to share with you when you had the other one up, and now it speaks to volumes of what I'm going to say. I notice on your pictures that I've had a chance to peruse through, the eyes and the lips are always different, which is good. This one, you said you were a little bit depressed. I can see it, but also I can see the power there. And the other one that you showed us, I can see the kind of perky, quirky kind of, this is me kind of thing. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is kind of interesting, you know, how blue relates to depression and serenity. And so it was interesting that I chose that color. Once again, that's how it's, I think when women color or do anything related to painting, they should be curious of why they're choosing whatever colors. What is it coming out of them?
That's why I'm asking you that question. I really want to hear from you what you have
Well,
found
the
thus far.
women, it just varies depending on the questions, what they're reflecting on. But sometimes they want to grow. They want to start doing more things for themselves. So they'll choose green, or they go with pink because it's more about loving, and it could be loving yourself, you know, anything related to loving. And I had this lady, she's very like strong-willed, very determined, and
Yes.
entrepreneur. And I don't remember the question what it was, but
Let me let Claudia, hold on for 1 second, because what you just said sometimes can be misconstrued and a misconception. You said she was very strong-willed, she was very determined, so on. Yet she's there taking your class to build and facilitate self-esteem, self-love, and all of that. And you used the words earlier. I love your words. A lot of women are pretense for what they are projecting and repressing what's really there. So that in itself makes a very poignant point. Yes. Share.
yeah, well, the way I mean, basically what I'm doing is helping women connect to their feminine energy, which I learned this years later. That's what I was doing for myself.
Yes.
So it's connecting to that energy of creativity, of embracing yourself, of just getting in touch with their intuition, looking inward. So that's basically the essence of the work. So I used to have a lot of what is called masculine energy because I use that as protection for myself. So
Yes.
I learned to bring down that wall, that protection, and start like allowing myself to just be. So that's basically what the work does at the end.
You know what you said here, and you expressed it so eloquently, really, because that's where we all are now, women. That's why I continually say it's not just about the appearance, working as a signature style specialist for me and speaker. It's more about that feminine power, expressing it authentically, that speaks to your greatness, your genius, and your magic. And your magic is that feminine sexuality. And it doesn't mean tight and revealing. So I really get that. tell us more about this lady who was very strong-willed and whatever. What colors did she start with? That's what I want to hear. Can you remember?
I don't remember, but she did. So she did my 7-week program that is called Uncover the Goddess Within Future Self Portrait. So it's creating that future self. And she hadn't done any drawing or anything since she was a kid, and it became very like orange and blues because, well, she moved to Florida. She's actually in Florida now, and she wanted to enjoy like that tropical setting,
Yes.
and just be like out in nature, and just be that woman that she couldn't be here in New York. And one of
Was
the
she
things that
was she mature? Was she a mature lady? Was she like in her 50s, 60s, 40s?
she's in her, she just turned 40.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
she was young. Okay.
Yeah.
Young.
I don't know, I'm mature.
Okay.
She's 40, but she's very mature for herself,
Yes.
and she enjoyed that because she was getting in touch with that side of her that she hadn't, because she's an entrepreneur. She's all about making things happen, going, she's excellent with what she does, but sometimes we need to take that break. We need to breathe and embrace ourselves. And I believe that's what she enjoyed the most. And now she has that reminder of how she wants to see herself hanging up on her wall.
Oh, I love that. I want to ask you this in parting here. I say this every week. I need a little button that I can push and repeat it for me because I say it every week. I don't know where the time goes. But this thing that you're doing, this work that you're doing, this wonder that you're about, color, and this helping and supporting and facilitating healing for women, I get it. And I celebrate and applaud you, and I will always be supporting you. Share with me this, though, in parting. This woman who was strong-willed and very determined and all of that, what was her impetus, you think, you might not know, for coming to you? Because we use those words repressed and pretentious for so many women out here today. What do you think brought her, probably your charming personality, and I'm not brown nosing you, but what brought her into your camp, into your circle?
I believe it's, I mean, I can only see it from my perspective.
Absolutely.
I believe it was that desire. Because I was very much like that in a way, that I just never got in touch with my feminine side. I was always a workaholic. I just took care of my home, my son. I had 2 jobs. There was like I didn't know who I was. So I believe she needed that time to just be with herself. And that's one of the things that I feel like we should never underestimate the power of not just art, but creative arts overall. It's really important for our well-being.
Wow, that was a mouthful and very, very powerful. Thank you for this. 30 minutes isn't enough because the work that you're doing in colors, I know how powerful and paramount it is in all of our lives, and especially today, women. So, what words of wisdom? Let me put your website up so that those who want to connect with you can. And I've been scrolling across your name and your email, but I also wanted, this is your email address, your website. But what words of wisdom do you want to share with us? I tell you, Claudia, you've given us a lot already. The time flies, but never doubt that you didn't share with us some really salient points that all of us as women, no matter what stage of life we're at, we need to be more aware of. And self-love is where we begin. I like what you said, how you go to the mirror, you did in the beginning, and now you go there and you blow kisses at yourself. Continue doing that. What parting words would you like to leave us with?
Once again, I will say, art is definitely not just for kids, and don't underestimate the power of the arts. How you do one thing, you do everything else. And I believe art is that magical key that can help us unlock our best self, because it's a key to help us like look inward and bring out the amazing person that we are inside.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Because you use a lot of my favorite words, and I'm a wordsmith. I love words. Magic brings out a lot of that magic in us. That's what we want. Claudia, thank you, thank you, thank you. From my heart to your heart, hold it dear and embrace it because it's filled with a lot of love. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Oh my goodness. What can I say? There's nothing else to say except thank you for being here. Make sure you get to her website and take a peek and see what she's about. This lady offers so much, all heart. And if you know of someone, if not you, this would be a great person to connect with. I can't wait to see you again. How about like tomorrow night? Same time, same place. Until then, be well, stay safe. I'm sending you from my end of the world to yours much love and always only the very, very best. Cheers.